The God in You Explained. Chapter 1. The God in You. You're not just a mortal being. There's a divine spark within you, often referred to as the God in you. This concept, deeply rooted in various theological and philosophical ideologies, posits that we all carry a piece of the divine within us. It's an idea that transcends cultural, religious, and geographical divides, and it's been a cornerstone in human self-understanding for millennia. Let's delve into the theological aspect of this concept. In Christianity, for example, the concept of imago Dei suggests that humans are created in God's image. It's not about physical resemblance, but rather about embodying God's attributes, such as love, wisdom, and creativity. You're not just God, but you carry God-like qualities within you. Moreover, in Hinduism, the concept of Atman is akin to this idea. Atman, the individual soul, is believed to be of the same essence as Brahman, the universal soul or God. It's like a drop of water in the vast ocean, distinct yet fundamentally the same. You're part of the divine, and the divine is part of you. Analytically, the God in you concept provides a framework for understanding our potential for goodness, wisdom, and creativity. It's a reminder that you're capable of great things, that you've inherent worth, and that you're connected to something grander. Chapter 2. The concept of inner divinity. In your heart, there's a divine spark that's just waiting to be kindled. This spark isn't merely a metaphorical construct. It's a theological concept deeply rooted in various spiritual traditions, which suggests that divinity or God resides within each individual. The concept of inner divinity is complex and multifaceted. At its core, it's a belief that there's an intrinsic and divine aspect within you that connects you to the universe and the divine. This isn't a deity that's external or distant, but one that's intimately connected to your being. The idea of inner divinity isn't new. It's been a cornerstone of many spiritual traditions. In Hinduism, for example, the concept of Atman, or the soul, is considered to be divine. Similarly, in Christianity, the Holy Spirit is believed to dwell within believers. The concept isn't without its challenges. If you're divine, then where does evil come from? How can there be suffering? These are questions you might grapple with as you explore the idea of inner divinity. However, understanding the concept of inner divinity can be transformative. It can alter how you view yourself and others, leading to greater compassion and understanding. It can change how you interact with the world, making you more aware of your actions and their impact. Chapter 3. Philosophical interpretations of inner godliness. Delving into philosophical interpretations of inner godliness, it's fascinating to see how different schools of thought approach this intriguing concept. You could start with the Hindu philosophy, where the notion of Atman or inner self is presented as a divine entity within each of us. It's a part of the universal Brahman, suggesting that godliness isn't merely external, but also internal. In contrast, the Judeo-Christian tradition generally posits a transcendent God, separate from humans, with godliness being a quality to strive for rather than an inherent characteristic. Yet, you'll find elements of inner divinity in the teachings of Christian mysticism, which assert that God's Spirit dwells within the faithful. You'll also find intriguing interpretations in Buddhism. Unlike many religious doctrines, Buddhism doesn't advocate for a personal God. Instead, it emphasizes the potential for inner divinity through the attainment of enlightenment, implying a form of godliness within. Meanwhile, philosophical schools like Stoicism and Pantheism propose that godliness pervades everything, including the self. Stoics regard the universe as a manifestation of divine reason, while pantheists see God as equivalent to nature and the universe. Thus, in both views, your existence itself is an aspect of godliness. Considering these varied interpretations, it's clear that the concept of inner godliness isn't monolithic, but rather a rich tapestry of perspectives. It's up to you to explore these philosophies and discern what resonates with your own understanding of self and divinity. Chapter 4. Spiritual Significance of Recognizing the God Within. Recognizing your inner divinity carries profound spiritual significance, as it's a step towards self-discovery and spiritual growth. This acknowledgement of your inherent godliness provides a solid foundation for spiritual development. It's not about considering yourself a deity, but understanding that you possess an immortal soul, a divine spark that connects you to the broader universe. The theological implications are substantial. In many faith traditions, there's a belief in the immanence of the divine, the concept that God or a higher power exists within and permeates throughout the universe, including within the self. By recognizing your inner divinity, you're aligning yourself with this theological perspective, acknowledging that you're a part of the divine order, not separate from it. This recognition also has profound implications for your personal spiritual growth. It promotes introspection and self-awareness, leading to a better understanding of oneself and the universe. You start to see your actions, thoughts, and feelings in a new light, understanding that they're not just your own, but expressions of the divine within you. Moreover, recognizing your inner divinity can inspire a greater sense of responsibility and compassion. If you see the divine in yourself, it's easier to see it in others, promoting empathy and understanding. This can lead to more ethical and compassionate behaviors, contributing to both personal growth and societal improvement. Chapter 5. Influential figures who promoted the idea of inner divinity. Numerous influential figures have emphasized the concept of inner divinity throughout the course of history, and it's likely that their teachings have shaped your understanding and perspective of this profound spiritual concept. The idea of finding God within oneself isn't a novel one. It's been a cornerstone of many religious traditions and philosophical schools of thought. You've probably heard of Gautama Buddha, whose teachings form the basis of Buddhism. His doctrine of self-realization, encapsulated in the idea of Buddha nature, proposes that everyone possesses the potential for enlightenment, a divine essence within. Similarly, Hinduism, with its concept of Atman, the individual soul, emphasizes that the ultimate reality, Brahman, exists within us all. In the Western tradition, where you are familiar with the Christian mystics, such as Meister Eckhart, he often spoke of the spark of the soul, the divine essence within each person, which mirrors the divine nature of God. These figures and their teachings undoubtedly play a significant role in your understanding of inner divinity. They've taught us that recognizing the divine within isn't just a philosophical or theological musing. It's a transformative process that affects how you perceive yourself and the world around you. The exploration of inner divinity is an invitation to delve deeper into the essence of your being, to find a connection with the divine that transcends traditional religious and philosophical boundaries. It's a journey towards self-awareness and ultimately self-realization. Chapter 6. The connection between inner divinity and consciousness. In exploring the link between inner divinity and consciousness, it's crucial to understand that your awareness and comprehension of the divine within can profoundly shape your conscious experience and perception of reality. This isn't a new concept. Myriad religious and philosophical systems have long posited that an intimate relationship exists between the divine and human consciousness. Your consciousness, in this sense, isn't merely a passive receptacle, but an active participant in shaping your understanding of the divine. You can see this interplay in practices like meditation, where you quiet the mind to attune yourself to the divine within. It's here that you might experience moments of profound insight, where your conscious awareness of your inner divinity becomes lucid and tangible. However, this connection isn't without its complexities. Just as your consciousness can illuminate your inner divinity, so too can it obscure it. Your preconceptions, biases, and fears can distort your understanding, leading to a skewed perception of the divine within. It's a constant process of refining and refocusing. Theologians often refer to this as the cloud of unknowing, a necessary state of uncertainty that must be traversed to truly awaken to your inner divinity. It's here, in the midst of doubt and unknowing, that your consciousness can most powerfully encounter the divine. This encounter, however, requires humility, openness, and a willingness to question and explore. In closing, the connection between inner divinity and consciousness is a dynamic, complex, and deeply personal journey. It's a path that invites you to delve deep within yourself, to grapple with your uncertainties, and to awaken to the divine potential that resides within you. Chapter 7. Awakening the God Within, the Steps and Strategies. Awakening the divine within involves certain steps and strategies that will help you tap into this profound inner potential. This process isn't a fleeting moment of enlightenment, but rather a journey towards self-discovery and spiritual growth. It's about embracing the sacredness of your existence, acknowledging your unique divine spark, and nurturing that connection to the point of realization. Firstly, cultivate mindfulness. This is the practice of being present, aware, and intentional with your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Be attentive to your inner dialogue, for it often reflects your level of divine consciousness. It's not about suppressing negative thoughts, but rather about acknowledging them and then shifting towards positivity and love. Secondly, engage in regular meditation. By quieting your mind, you're able to better hear the whisperings of the divine within. Techniques such as transcendental meditation or mindfulness-based stress reduction can be particularly helpful in this endeavor. Thirdly, embrace a life of compassion and love. When you serve others selflessly, it's easier to recognize the divine in everyone, including yourself. Finally, seek knowledge, engage in theological study, read scriptures, and explore various spiritual traditions. This not only broadens your understanding of divinity, but also allows you to explore the divine within different contexts. Chapter 8. Scientific Perspectives on the God Within. Diving into the scientific perspectives on the concept of the divine within, it's fascinating to see how modern research intersects with ancient wisdom. You might be intrigued to discover that contemporary neuroscience has started to explore the spiritual realm, investigating the neurological basis of religious experiences and the concept of the divine within us. While you may be familiar with the idea of God as an external entity, many spiritual traditions such as Buddhism, Hinduism, and Gnosticism propose a different perspective. They suggest that divinity isn't solely external but internal, a part of our very essence. They argue that the divine within, or the God within, can be awakened through practices such as meditation, prayer, and selfless service. Science, especially the field of neurotheology, has started to lend credence to these spiritual concepts. Neurotheology studies the neural correlations of religious experiences and spirituality. It's discovered that spiritual practices like meditation and prayer can indeed stimulate parts of the brain associated with feelings of unity, transcendence, and divine love, providing a physiological basis for the experience of the divine within. Moreover, quantum physics, with its concept of non-locality, hints at the interconnectedness of all things, which parallels the spiritual idea of the divine permeating everything. Chapter 9. How meditation can help discover the God in you. Having explored the scientific perspectives on the concept of the God within, let's now delve into how meditation can serve as a bridge to discovering this divine essence within yourself. Meditation, a millennia-old practice, has been integral to numerous theological traditions, serving as a way to facilitate a broader connection with the divine. In your quest to discover the God within, meditation can be an invaluable tool. It can help strip away the layers of external conditioning and self-constructed identities that often obscure our innate divinity. Theologically speaking, The God within isn't a separate deity residing in your physical body. Rather, it's a metaphorical way of understanding your inherent connection with the divine. You're not finding a separate God within you. You're realizing that you, at your deepest core, are a manifestation of the divine. Meditation can help you realize this truth. When you meditate, you're not simply emptying your mind or achieving a state of relaxation. You're creating a space for introspection, a sabbatical from the distractions of the external world. This introspective space allows for an exploration of your inner world, where the divine essence is said to reside. As you continue to meditate, you'll likely begin to notice a shift in your perception. You'll start to feel a deeper sense of interconnectedness, a sense of unity with all of creation. This is often interpreted as an experience of the God within. Now that we've discussed how meditation can facilitate this discovery, let's move towards understanding the role of mindfulness in recognizing your divine self. Chapter 10. Role of mindfulness in recognizing your divine self. Mindfulness as a practice can play a crucial role in recognizing the divine essence that's inherent in your being. This age-old discipline encourages you to dwell in the present moment, cultivating an acute awareness of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. It's through this heightened consciousness that you are able to perceive the divine spark within yourself. Theologically, numerous faith traditions from Buddhism to Christianity uphold the concept of innate divinity. They propose that you are not merely a physical entity, but rather you carry a sacred divine aspect. Mindfulness, by promoting a profound inward gaze, allows you to connect with this internal sanctity. You might wonder how exactly mindfulness facilitates this divine connection. It's simple, yet profound. Mindfulness quiets your mind, enabling you to filter out the external noise that often distracts from internal self-exploration. By centering your attention inward, you're able to discern the subtle whispers of the divine self that are often drowned out by worldly clamor. Additionally, mindfulness cultivates self-compassion and acceptance, key aspects in acknowledging your inherent worth and divinity. Recognizing that you're a vessel of the divine can profoundly impact your self-perception, fostering a sense of sacred self-respect. In conclusion, mindfulness is a potent tool in your quest for spiritual self-discovery. It serves as a bridge, connecting your everyday human experience with the transcendent divine reality within. The journey towards recognizing your divine essence is deeply personal and transformative, and mindfulness can significantly illuminate your path. Chapter 11. The Impact of Inner Divinity on Personal Growth. Embracing your inner divinity can significantly influence personal growth, fostering a sense of self-worth that's deeply transformative. This concept, steeped in theological doctrine, posits that you are inherently divine, a particle of the Supreme Being imbued with potential just waiting to be unlocked. Indeed, the moment you start recognizing your divine self, you're setting the stage for profound personal transformation. It's a potent catalyst for self-improvement. You're not merely a physical being driven by base desires. You're a spiritual entity capable of transcendent thought and action. Analyzing the impact of this self-recognition, you'll find that it elevates your self-perception, instilling a sense of worth that's rooted not in external validation, but in your innate divinity. You don't need others to affirm your worth. You're enough as you are. Moreover, it impels you to strive towards the embodiment of divine virtues, such as love, compassion, and wisdom. You're not chasing after fleeting worldly achievements, but are driven by the desire to actualize your divine attributes. You're not merely living, you're becoming, evolving into your highest self. In a scholarly perspective, this concept has been explored in various theological texts, underscoring its perennial relevance. It's a universal truth, transcending religious boundaries and resonating with human aspiration. Ultimately, acknowledging your inner divinity is an empowering journey of self-discovery and self-improvement. It's a transformative process that unfolds within, fostering a profound sense of self-worth and purpose. As we delve into the empowering potential of acknowledging your inner godliness in the next section, you'll further understand its transformative power. Chapter 12. Empowering potential of acknowledging your inner godliness. Recognizing your inner divinity's potential is like uncovering a hidden treasure within, which can empower and transform your life in unimaginable ways. It's about acknowledging the divine essence that resides in you, an intrinsic part of your being. This isn't an abstract philosophical idea, but a tangible reality that can have profound implications for your personal growth and empowerment. When you accept your inner divinity and its potential, you're not simply engaging in a theological exercise, but in a process of self-realization. It's a shift in understanding that can dissolve any feelings of isolation or insignificance, replacing them with a profound sense of connectedness and purpose. You're no longer a mere mortal struggling in the world, but a divine being with limitless potential. This concept, deeply embedded in many spiritual traditions, invites you to see yourself not as a passive recipient of life's vicissitudes, but as an active participant capable of shaping your destiny. You're not simply at the mercy of external forces, but have divine agency. Your thoughts, words, and actions matter. They're tools for expressing your inner divinity and affecting the world around you. But to harness this power, it's not enough to merely acknowledge your inner divinity. You must live from this understanding. This entails cultivating qualities associated with divinity, like love, compassion, wisdom, and creativity. It's about aligning your life with these higher values and using them as a guiding compass. Doing so, you'll find your life becoming more meaningful, fulfilling, and empowered. You'll discover the transformative power of acknowledging your inner godliness. Chapter 13. How understanding inner divinity influences life choices. Understanding your inner divinity can profoundly impact the decisions you make in life, guiding you towards choices that reflect your innate worth and potential. The concept of inner divinity, deeply embedded in many theological discourses, suggests that you're essentially divine in nature, a part of the cosmic consciousness or God. This perspective brings a sense of self-worth and purpose, leading you to make decisions in alignment with your highest potential. Think of your life as a ship. Your inner divinity is the compass, helping you navigate through the turbulent waters of life. When you are in tune with your godly essence, you are more likely to make choices that uplift you and contribute positively to your surroundings. You are less likely to be swayed by external influences that don't serve your highest good. Recognizing your inner divinity doesn't mean you are infallible. You are human and you will make mistakes, but these are opportunities for growth, not signs of unworthiness. Your innate divinity isn't diminished by your errors. Instead, it provides a resilient foundation that helps you learn, evolve, and make better choices. In the grand scheme of your existence, understanding your inner divinity isn't about making perfect decisions. It's about realizing your inherent worth and potential and making choices that honor this truth. As you grow more aware of your inner godliness, you will see its influence in your life choices. You will perceive the divine guidance that's always been there, steering you towards the fulfillment of your potential. Chapter 14. The God in you and its role in spiritual enlightenment. In your journey towards spiritual enlightenment, it's your inner divinity that plays a pivotal role, illuminating the path with wisdom and clarity. As you embark on this journey, you'll discover that the God in you isn't an external entity, but rather a manifestation of your own spiritual essence. This divine presence is an integral part of your spiritual development, influencing your thoughts, actions, and perception of reality. Theological analysis draws attention to the notion that the God in you isn't a separate divine entity, but rather a reflection of the divine energy that permeates the cosmos. This divine presence is a beacon of spiritual enlightenment, guiding you to higher levels of consciousness and understanding. Scholars in the field of theology emphasize the transformative power of recognizing and connecting with this inner divinity. It's suggested that this connection facilitates a profound shift in consciousness, enabling you to perceive and interact with the world from a place of love, compassion, and wisdom. You will find that acknowledging the God in you is a transformative process. It encourages a shift from ego-based thinking to a more enlightened perspective. It's this shift that allows for greater spiritual growth and development. In essence, understanding and connecting with the God in you is pivotal in your journey towards spiritual enlightenment. It's this divine connection that illuminates the path towards wisdom, understanding, and ultimately self-realization. Next, we will explore the God in you and its connection with universal energy. Chapter 15. The God in you and its connection with universal energy. Your inner divinity's link with the omnipresent cosmic energy can profoundly influence your spiritual growth and perception of reality. This connection, often overlooked in conventional theology, can be a potent catalyst for spiritual enlightenment. By understanding and harnessing this connection, you are not only aligning yourself with the universe's energies, but also cultivating a deeper understanding of your divine potential. Theologically, the concept of God in you is rooted in the belief that you are an integral part of the divine fabric of existence. This concept has found resonance in various religious and spiritual traditions, where the emphasis is on the individual's intrinsic connection with the divine rather than an external entity. Hence, when you tap into the universal energy, you're essentially accessing your divine essence. From an analytical perspective, this divine connection can be viewed as an energy exchange. The universal energy, being omnipresent, is a continual source of spiritual nourishment. You, in turn, contribute your unique energy to this cosmic network, thus enriching the universe's spiritual ecosystem. It's a symbiotic relationship that fosters spiritual growth and enhances your divine awareness. Chapter 16. The God in You. Interpretations across various cultures. Different cultures around the world have their unique interpretations of the divine essence within each individual, shedding light on how they perceive this spiritual connection. As you navigate through this intricate web of beliefs, you'll find that the concept of the God in you manifests in myriad forms, each holding a significant place in the cultural psyche. In Hinduism, for example, you'll encounter the concept of Atman, which signifies the individual's soul or essence as a fragment of the universal divine. It's a realization that you're not separate from the divine, but intrinsically part of it. In Buddhism, the notion of Buddha nature echoes a similar sentiment. You've the potential to achieve enlightenment, to become a Buddha yourself, underscoring the divine within you. Alternatively, in many indigenous cultures, you're seen as an integral part of an interconnected web of existence. The divine isn't merely within you. It's also in the elements around you, the trees, the animals, the rivers. You're not separate, but a part of a divine whole. Contrastingly, in monotheistic traditions like Christianity and Islam, God is perceived as a supreme being separate from humans. Yet, they believe in the indwelling of God's Spirit, affirming an intimate connection between you and the divine. To comprehend the vastness of this topic, you need to delve deeper to explore the boundaries of your understanding. You'll find that despite the disparate interpretations, the thread of commonality weaves them together. The idea that the divine essence is, in some way, part of you. Chapter 17. The God in You and its reflection in acts of kindness. Reflecting this divine essence through acts of kindness can be an enlightening experience, as it's often in these moments that you feel closest to your spiritual core. The notion of the God in you implies a divine spark within each of us, which can be manifested in our actions, particularly in acts of kindness. This concept isn't only a theological belief, but also a philosophical proposition, positing that our moral compass is inherently linked to this divine essence. Analyzing this concept, it's clear that acts of kindness aren't just moral obligations or social norms. They're expressions of our divine nature. They're moments when you exemplify virtues like mercy, generosity, and compassion, virtues often attributed to the divine. In many religious traditions, these virtues are seen as reflections of God's nature, and when you embody them, you're reflecting the God in you. Yet, it's important to clarify that this doesn't suggest you become divine yourself. Rather, you're echoing the divine attributes within your human capacity. This theological perspective can have profound implications on your sense of morality and your understanding of the divine-human relationship. It suggests that your relationship with the divine isn't just about worship or obedience, but also about emulating divine virtues in your daily life. Chapter 18. Unleashing the God Within. Personal Stories and Experiences. In the journey of spirituality, personal stories and experiences often serve as powerful testaments to the divine essence within. They act as mirrors, reflecting the image of God that resides in you. As you navigate through life's challenges and victories, your actions, thoughts, and emotions can either align with this divine image or veer away from it. You have probably experienced moments when you felt a profound connection to something greater than yourself. Maybe you found yourself acting with extraordinary compassion in a difficult situation, or you've had a sudden insight that seemed to come from a higher wisdom. These are instances where you've tapped into the God within. They're not anomalies, but glimpses of your true divine nature. Theology often speaks of God as immanent, existing within everything, including you. You're not separate from God, but an expression of God's creative force. When you recognize this, you begin to see the divine in your day-to-day experiences, not just in extraordinary moments. But unleashing the God within isn't just about recognizing your divine nature. It's also about living in alignment with it. This means acting with love, compassion, and justice, even when it's difficult. It's understanding that your actions affect others and striving to make those effects positive. It's about seeking wisdom and guidance from the divine essence within you. In a nutshell, your life's journey is a continual process of unleashing the God within. The more you align your actions, thoughts, and emotions with this divine essence, the more you will experience its power and presence in your life. Chapter 19. The interplay between inner divinity and self-love. Self-love is crucial as it opens the door to recognizing your inner divinity, allowing you to fully embrace the divine essence within. It's not about vanity or narcissism, but rather an acceptance and appreciation of yourself as a unique manifestation of the divine. This understanding, rooted in theology, psychology, and philosophy, can lead to a coherent shift in your self-perception and interactions with the world. In theological discourse, you're often considered a divine creation, made in the image and likeness of God. This inherently carries the implication of divinity within you. Yet, it's through self-love, the conscious act of treating oneself with kindness, respect, and compassion, that you truly awaken and acknowledge this inner divinity. Scholars argue that self-love is a necessary step towards achieving a higher spiritual state. You can't fully love God, or indeed others, if you don't first love yourself. This isn't a selfish act, but a recognition of your inherent worth, an affirmation of your divine origin and your potential for goodness. From an analytical perspective, self-love enhances self-awareness, which is the key to unlocking your inner divinity. Understanding your own strengths, weaknesses, and passions allows you to more closely identify with your divine creator. It's this alignment that ignites your potential, empowering you to contribute and make a difference in the world in a way that only you can. The interplay between inner divinity and self-love is thus a symbiotic relationship. Each nurtures and amplifies the other, leading to a heightened sense of self, a deeper connection with the divine, and ultimately, a more fulfilling life. Chapter 20. how accepting your inner godliness affects your relationships. Embracing your inner godliness can profoundly influence your relationships, as it fosters a sense of self-worth that's crucial for healthy interactions. The recognition of this divine essence within you gives rise to a self-assurance that's not rooted in arrogance, but rather in a deep understanding of your inherent value. This, in turn, allows you to engage with others from a place of confidence and compassion. From a theological standpoint, many traditions acknowledge the presence of divine essence within the human spirit. This concept isn't just about empowerment. It's about acknowledging a broader connection to the divine, a connection that everyone shares. This understanding can significantly change how you relate to others. You'll not only see yourself as divine, but also recognize the divinity in others. This realization fosters a sense of mutual respect and understanding, enhancing your relationships. Analyzing this further, accepting your inner godliness also impacts the dynamics of your relationships. It helps you maintain healthy boundaries as you understand your worth and refuse to engage in relationships that don't respect your divinity. You're less likely to tolerate mistreatment or settle for less than you deserve. Chapter 21. The God in You, a tool for overcoming personal struggles. Recognizing your divine essence can serve as a powerful tool for surmounting personal struggles. This divine essence, the God in you, isn't a religious construct, but a deeply theological concept that transcends the boundaries of conventional religious thought. It's the belief that you're imbued with a divine spark, a piece of the eternal and infinite. This divine essence isn't contingent upon your actions or merits. It's intrinsic, immutable, and provides a foundation for resilience, strength, and wisdom. Understanding this, you'll see that your struggles don't diminish your worth or potential. They're opportunities for growth, testing, and refining that divine essence within you. Theologians have often expounded upon the idea of sanctification through suffering, as painful as it may be. The struggles you face can, in fact, serve to illuminate the divine within you, much like fire reveals the pure gold within raw ore. In practical terms, when you're faced with challenges, remember that you're not alone. Your divine essence, that God within you, empowers you to overcome. It's a source of creativity, intelligence, and courage. You're not just a passive recipient of life's trials. You're an active participant with the power to shape and define your experience. Chapter 22. The God in You, exploring the link with emotional health. In exploring the link with emotional health, it's important to understand how your inherent divine essence can contribute to a more balanced and positive mindset. You're not just a physical being, you're also a spiritual entity. This spiritual dimension, often referred to as the God in You, can be a powerful tool in managing your emotional health. Theologically, many faith traditions uphold the belief that humans are conceived in the image and likeness of the divine, which implies a shared spiritual characteristic. This divine essence within you isn't subject to the fluctuations and disturbances that your emotional state might experience. Instead, it remains constant, stable, and inherently good. By connecting with this divine essence, you can tap into a reservoir of peace and positivity that can help you navigate through emotional turmoil. Psychologically, this belief can have profound implications. It suggests that you have an inner resource that can help you cope with emotional struggles. Research in the field of positive psychology supports this, indicating that spiritual beliefs can play a significant role in emotional resilience and overall well-being. In essence, recognizing and harnessing the God in you could be a significant factor in maintaining emotional health. It is not a panacea that will solve all of your problems, but it can provide a solid foundation on which to build emotional resilience. The key is to be open to this divine essence within you, to cultivate a relationship with it, and to let it guide you towards emotional balance and wellness. Chapter 23. The Journey Ahead, continuously nurturing the God within. Moving forward, it's essential to continuously nurture this inner divine essence, allowing it to guide your emotional wellness journey. This isn't a one-time act, but a lifelong commitment to self-awareness and spiritual growth. You're not merely a physical being, but also a spiritual entity, a part of the divine essence. Recognizing this truth is the first step towards achieving emotional wellness. Understanding the concept of the God in you requires a nuanced interpretation of theology and psychology. It's not about religious affiliations or dogmatic beliefs, but rather an introspective connection with your spiritual self. You're not separate from the divine, but a manifestation of it. This implies that you possess the potential to transcend your emotional limitations and attain a state of divine serenity. Yet, it's important to note that nurturing this divine essence isn't a passive process. It demands active engagement, consistent introspection, and the courage to confront your emotional vulnerabilities. You're called to continuously evolve, to shed outdated perceptions and embrace new insights about your spiritual self. This journey may be challenging at times, but it's also profoundly rewarding. As you engage with your divine essence, you'll start experiencing a heightened sense of emotional wellness. You'll notice shifts in your perspectives, a deepening of empathy, and a renewed sense of purpose. This is the power of embracing the God in you. In embracing the God within, you're not declaring divinity, but unearthing your inherent potential. Like a sacred temple, your soul houses a divine essence, shaping you into a beacon of love, wisdom, and compassion. Cherish this inner divinity. Let it influence your relationships, guide you past struggles, and foster emotional health. Your journey henceforth is nurturing this godliness, a profound quest that eternally unfolds. It's this divine exploration that truly epitomizes the God in you. Thanks for listening or reading this from Audiobooks Office.